New rules have come into force, meaning nurses and midwives are no longer able to prescribe cosmetic injectables like botox remotely without seeing the patient in person. It's something cosmetic safety campaigners have been calling for, but there are fears the industry could go underground without proper enforcement and better patient awareness. Amy Flett reports.
I'm going to just check your mouth and just make sure that it's okay after the incident that you had.
3 months ago, Florence got what she thought was a non-surgical facelift after seeing an advert on Instagram. It didn't take her long to realise something wasn't right.
I was in the bathroom and I just happened to yawn in front of the mirror and the whole side of my face was like dripping. The first thing I thought was, oh, I think this is the first symptoms of a stroke. You know how they always say that your face droops, so I phoned the doctor and then I thought about it and thought, I wonder if it has anything to do with the botox that I got.
That's when Florence came to this medical aesthetics clinic in Botched for help, and sadly she's not alone in her experience.
We see weekly cases like this. When she came in to speak to me, she was really embarrassed, felt quite ashamed of herself because what she described was that she didn't think the environment was clean, she didn't know where the toxin had came from that she had been injected with, and they had clearly hit a muscle that wasn't supposed to be treated with the botox, and it was pulling the corner of her mouth down. Had she seen a prescriber, we would have told her that the whole treatment that she was promised was not possible and she would never have been treated with it in the first place.
From this week, non-surgical procedures like Botox and fillers will now require a face-to-face consultation with a medical professional as part of a crackdown on the cosmetics industry.
While the changes aim to protect the public and maintain trust in the profession, there are fears that the industry could go underground, which would pose a risk to those being injected.
We will work with others to make sure that the public are aware of the risks of and how to safely obtain those medicines, how they can check that the person on the register is indeed has a prescriber qualification, and they can always check in with us if they have any concerns.
The Scottish Government says these changes are a matter for the NMC, but that it's planning its own robust and proportionate regulations within the next year. For Florence, she's warning others not to make the same mistake she did.
If something's too good to be true, it definitely is. I would never do it again. You know, and I did message the person, you know, and explained what had happened, and she offered me half my money back, and I said, no, I don't want my money back, I just don't want you to do it to somebody else.
With us in the studio, the cosmetic nurse prescriber Frances Turner-Trail, who is the founder of FTT Skin Clinics. Thanks so much for joining us this evening, Frances. Will these new rules make the industry safer?
Yes and no, Ruth. They will make nurses more accountable. There are rogue nurses out there who have been earning extra from their NHS work. However, there will be a plethora of the sort of black market will continue.
Because doctors and dentists already are regulated, aren't they? So this is bringing nurses and midwives into line. But there are, as you say, there's a whole lot of other people practising. There's no rules or regulations.
Absolutely not.
So what's the consequence of that?
The consequence of that is that healthcare practitioners are regulated by Health Improvement Scotland. However, the majority of providers in Scotland now are unregulated lay people, beauty therapists, or sometimes not even trained beauty therapists, who are the majority of the providers, and it's exactly a black market.
I mean, that's really terrifying. I mean, when you're doing the procedure, why is it so important to see someone face to face when you're prescribing?
It may look like beauty, it's not beauty. It's prescription-only medication. You have to be seen face-to-face by a prescriber, somebody like myself. We are trained medically, so therefore we assess, we diagnose, we treat, and we prescribe. There is a clinical pathway that we follow, and we have rules, regulations, and codes of conduct that we are accountable to, not only to our insurers, but to our nursing and midwifery council, so we can be struck off if we fall foul of our laws.
And do you think people who are looking for procedures, do you think they're aware of the fact that maybe if they go to a beautician or something, that they're not regulated? Are people aware enough of what's going on?
I think there is a There will be a monetary issue.
So they're much cheaper, is that what you're saying? Is that why they go there?
Considerably cheaper, because for me to regulate I have 2 clinics, one in Inverness and one in Hamilton. It's £4,500 per clinic to be inspected on an annual basis. My costs are far, far higher. I train a lot, so like my continuous professional development costs me an awful lot of money, which I'm happy to pay, whereby the underbelly of lay people do not. They are doing one-day courses and they have no accountability, they have no continuous professional development, and they're learning from each other through WhatsApp and so Facebook groups.
You can do a one-day course and then be doing it.
Yes.
And so what kind of things can go wrong then? I mean, we saw the poor woman in Amy's package where her face is kind of collapsed. I mean, do things like that happen quite regularly?
That's a minor misdemeanour there. I've argued strongly at Scottish Government roundtables and as part of the British Association of Medical Aesthetic Nurses. We will see somebody die. You must do some. People have died in England. There are people who have been blinded, and yet it continues. So I am not absolutely sure what has to happen. There has already been deaths recorded with misdemeanours through poor practice.
And you've spoken to the Scottish Government, you've spoken to Jenny Minto, the Health Minister, and what did you say to her then?
Jenny Minto, I would have to say thank you to Stuart McMillan, the MSP, who's brought forward the bill, which will be published in June. He's done an incredible job and we're thankful to him. Jenny Minto, I feel, as a health minister,
Public Health Minister
has done a great disservice, but however, she has turned that around. Now, she said to us at the round table, I'm an accountant. I want facts and data. Now, we gave her all Save Faces data, which recorded all that, but I said, I've brought you a patient.
And she saw...
The patient gave her story about what happened.
Okay, and Jenny Minto isn't here to defend herself, but, you know, she's taken it on board and the Scottish Government will be doing something.
100% she has.
Okay, thank you very much indeed for joining us.